Okay, welcome back to class. We've had a short recess and we have all taken our rice and chicken and ice cream and cake donuts and we are back. So we talked about neurons and we treated everything about neurons. The next topic we need to treat as quickly as possible is synapse. Synapse. Okay? So we'll look at synapse under the following heading. First, we want to look at the meaning of synapse, the structure of synapse, the function, the types, and transmission of action potential or synaptic transmission. After that, we'll look at the properties of synapse and some clinical correlates. Alright? So we begin with the definition. Are we ready? Yes, sir. Are we ready?
Yes.
Are you still hungry?
Yes.
What did you do with the bread? Huh? What did you do? Could have told me now. I told you we have food for you. And you sat down here and you knew quite alright that you didn't have pocket money to buy snacks. Could have called me, to do something. It's not it. Okay, let's just finish this one. Yeah? When we finish. Well, now this time you don't need snacks, you need to eat correct food. And a goosey soup. Right? Okay, you don't like a goosey soup? You like a goosey soup. So what is the synapse? The synapse is simply a junction between two neurons. The synapse is the junction between two neurons. Okay? It can also be a junction or a union between a neuron and a muscle fiber. Synapse can also be the junction between a neuron and a muscle fiber or a gland. Alright? Synapse is defined as the union of two neurons or the union between a neuron and a muscle fiber or the union between a neuron and a gland. A synapse can be defined as the junction between two neurons or the junction between a neuron and a muscle fiber or a junction between a neuron and a gland. Anatomy of the synapse. Anatomy of synapse. The structure of the synapse consists of three main parts. First is the presynaptic button or ending. The synapse is the structure of a synapse is made up of three main parts. First is the presynaptic button or ending. 2 is the postsynaptic body or ending. Some people are looking very confused. And 3 is the synaptic cleft. I said the structure of the synapse is made up of 3 parts: the presynaptic body, the postsynaptic body, and the synaptic cleft. Alright? This shows you the structure of the synapse, including all of the parts making up the synapse. Okay? So over here, the whole of this yellow structure is the presynaptic body. Okay? And then this part here is the postsynaptic body. And then of course you have the muscle. In fact, the whole of this part is the postsynaptic body. So the first part is made up of a nerve cell. The presynaptic body is made up of a nerve cell, while the postsynaptic body is made up of a muscle fiber. Remember I told you in the definition that the synapse is the junction between 2 neurons, or a neuron and a muscle fiber, or a neuron and a gland. So over here you have a type of synapse that is known as the neuromuscular synapse, because this synapse is formed between a nerve cell and a muscle fiber. Is that clear? The synapse that is formed between a nerve cell and a muscle fiber is known as the neuromuscular synapse. The one that is formed between a nerve cell and a gland is known as what? Neuroglandular synapse. The one that is formed between 2 nerves is known as what? Neuronal synapse. Very simple. I know that we are getting me. I should come again. You know, my other name is come again. So that is my job. My job is to come again as many times as possible. Alright? Look, what is the synapse? It is the union of either 2 nerve cells. If you have a nerve cell here, you now have the short processes. This is the soma. You have the short processes, and then you have the long one. Right? This is the first nerve cell or neuron. And then you have another one here, nerve cell number 2. You have the cell body, and then you have the axon. Alright? And the short processes are over here. Right? You call this nerve cell number 2. So you have two nerve cells coming together at this junction. Okay? A synapse is the union between two nerve cells. Right? This type of synapse is known as neuronal synapse. Okay? It is also the union between a nerve cell and a muscle fiber. If this is nerve cell number 1, you have nerve cell number 1. And then over here, you have a skeletal muscle. Right? And then this nerve cell is an anastomosis with the skeletal muscle fiber, right? So you have one nerve and the muscle fiber uniting. This type of synapse is known as the neuromuscular synapse because the union is between a nerve and a muscle. Did you catch that? Yes, sir. That yes, sir, is very faint. And when you don't catch it, I become very, very happy, excited. So try to catch it so that I'll be sad. Okay. And then a synapse can also be the union between a nerve cell and a gland. In your body, you have so many endocrine glands, including exocrine glands. Okay? So, when there is a union, if for example, you have a nerve cell here, right? This is a nerve cell, and then you have a gland. Let's take for example, this is a gland. Maybe the adrenal gland, or the pituitary gland, or the testes, or the ovaries. And there is a union between the nerve and the gland. Then that kind of synapse is called the neuroglandular synapse. Neuroglandular synapse. But we are looking at the structure of the synapse. And we say that the structure or the anatomy of the synapse is made up of 3 parts. Okay? The first part is known as the presynaptic body. The second part is known as the postsynaptic body. And then the third part is known as the synaptic cleft. Now look, for the neuronal synapse that is formed between 2 nerve cells, the first nerve cell is known as the postsynaptic body. And then the second one is known as the post. The first one is known as the presynaptic body, please. And then the second one is known as the postsynaptic body. If that synapse is between a nerve cell and the muscle, then the nerve cell is